Right now, our navigation link doesn't send the user anywhere, which is fine for prototyping, but obviously not good enough for our actual project. So in this step, we're going to add a new resort view that shows a picture from the resort and some description text, plus a list of other facilities there. Like I said earlier, the content in my example JSON is mostly fictional, and this includes the photos. These are generic ski photos taken from unsplash.com. They can be used commercially or non-commercially without attribution, but I've included the photographer's credit in the JSON file so you can add it later on. As for the text, this is taken from Wikipedia, so if you intend to use that text on your own projects, it's important to give credit to Wikipedia and its authors and make sure it's clear the work is licensed under the CC by SA license as Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike. To start with, our resort view layout is going to be pretty simple. Not much more than a scroll view, a VStack, an image, and some text. The only interesting part is we're going to show the resort's facilities as a single text view by joining together to get a single string. So press Command N, make a new Swift file, choose SwiftUI view this time, call this resort view, and give it the following code. First, we'll say it has to have a resort to preview correctly, up here. And the body will make a scroll view with a VStack inside an alignment of leading. I'll do spacing 0 so things are nice and tight. Then we'll add an image using the decorative initializer that's not read out by VoiceOver. That'll be the resort ID. This will be resizable and scaled to fit. And then below that, I'm going to make a group to contain the text of the resort's description. This will have a little bit of padding attached to it, but only vertically. Then a text of the facilities we have here. That'll be in a font of headline. And then we'll put all facilities together, joining it together as a single string. We can say text resort facilities joined with separator of comma and a space. Again, a bit of padding vertically, like that. And then we can attach padding to the whole thing, all three views here, by attaching padding to the group right here. So we'll say padding horizontally for the whole group so they all get the same padding. Then we will attach to the scroll view a navigation title modifier. And this is going to say, show the resort's name, then a comma, then the resort's country, all in the title like that. I'll add a title display mode of dotted line, so it's a smaller version because it's a detailed view now. You'll need to change the preview code down here to pass into example data. So I'll say our resort is just example we made earlier. That should preview more or less correctly. There we go, boom, got there in the end, like that. And there's our facilities at the bottom there. Now we can go ahead and add in the code in content view to point to our actual view, which means adding a navigation destination modifier in our content view. So down here next to our title, I'm going to say there's a navigation destination for resorts being activated. And this will take a resort coming in and make a resort view out of it, passing in the resort that was chosen. So let's get a quick try. Command R, and then let's go to portrait mode. I'll choose Deer Valley. There we go, looking good. And then let's try Whistler Blackcomb. Boom. Okay. Nothing terribly interesting in our code so far, but that's going to change now because I want to add more details to the screen. I want to add how big the resort is, roughly how much it costs, how high it is, and how deep the snow is. Now we could put all that into a single HStack in our resort view back here, but that restricts what we can do in the future. So instead, we're going to split these things into two views, one for resort information, that's price and size, and one for ski information, that's elevation and snow depth. Now the ski views are easier of the two to implement, so we'll start there. We'll make a new SwiftUI view, call this thing ski details view, and then give it some code. You can say inside here, first the resort property to work with, like that. And the body will be a group, then a VStack. This will contain inside it, let's do text elevation here in a font of caption bold. And then text, let's say resort.elevation m in meters with a font of title 3. That's the first one. Then a second one we'll say is a VStack with a text of the snow level. Again, font of caption bold, like so. Then text of resort.snowdepth cm centimeters, again title 3. And let's add to this thing, to the whole group around these things, a maximum frame size here. Frame max width of dot infinity. And then a preview again of our resort is dot example, like so. So we have given the group view itself this maximum frame width of dot infinity. It won't affect the group itself because it has no impact on layout. However, it does get passed down to its child views, which means they will automatically spread out horizontally. As for the resort details, this is a little bit trickier because of two things. First, the size of the resort is stored as a value in here between 1 and 3. But really we want to say small, average, and large instead. Secondly, the price here is stored as a value from 1 to 3. But we'll replace that with $1 sign, $2 signs, or $3 signs, depending how expensive a resort is. As always, it's a good idea to get calculations out of your SwiftUI layouts so it's nice and clear. So we'll make two computed properties for size and price. First things first, make a new view for this. So Command N, SwiftUI view. This one now it's resort details view. Give it a resort property like this. Update your preview struct, pass in an example data down here. So resort is .example. And when it comes to getting the size of the resort, we could just add a small property here. We could say var size as a string and send back the array small, average, and large indexed using resort.size -1. So we're saying when size is 1, subtract from that to get 0, and now send back the 0th item small. When resort size is 2, subtract 1, it's now 1, send back the first item, it's average, and so forth. You can do that. It works. But it would cause a crash if an invalid value is used somehow, and it's also a bit too cryptic for my liking. Instead, it is much safer and clearer to use a switch block, saying something like switch resort.size, and then providing all cases you care about. So we could do case 1 is just small, case 2, that's average, and then default everything else, that can just be large, like so. That's a better way of doing it. As for the price property, we can leverage the same repeating count initializer we used to create example cards back in Project 17, which is string repeating count. This makes a new string repeating a substring a certain number of times. So in here, we'll say var price is a string and send back the string repeating a $sign count of resort.price times. So again, it'll be 1, 2, or 3, $1 sign, $2 signs, or $3 signs. And now it remains in the body properties actually straightforward because we just wrote these two properties ahead of time. We could say again, there's a group with a VStack inside. Then we'll do text size, font caption bold, and then text of the size property, that can be font title 3. Then after that is another VStack with text price, again, font, caption bold, and then text of our price value. There's a string made earlier with a font of title 3. Excellent. Again, add a little frame to the group so it stretches everything outside there a bit wider as it needs to, like that. It just means I'll spread it horizontally, just like those in the previous view. And that completes our 2 little mini views. So now we can drop them into Resort View. And so back in Resort View, which is, so it ranges just a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. In our Resort View here, we have a bunch of stuff before the group. So after the image for the group here, I'm going to say, let's do a H stack of our resort details view, passing in the current resort. And then a ski details view, again, passing in the current resort. And add a little bit of padding vertically. And a gentle background color. Let's do primary opacity 0.1. Very, very light gray, like so. And there it is. You can see them lined up neatly. We're going to add more to that in a moment. But first, I'll make one small tweak. Using joined with separator does an okay job of converting a string array into a single string. But we're not going to write just okay code. Okay, we're here to write great code where possible. Now, previously we used the format parameter of text to control the way numbers are formatted. There's a format for string arrays too. This is similar to using join separator, but rather than sending back A, B, C like we have right now, we get back A, B, and C. It's more natural to read. And so, down in our facilities text view down here, we'll just say, use the text of our resort facilities directly with a format attached of .list with type .and. Same padding. And now, run the code back, give it a try. Let's try Snowbird again. Scroll, scroll, scroll. That's only one thing. Family, great, thanks for that. Deer Valley. Fine. Family, beginners, and accommodation. The and is because we have this and type here. You could also use .or if you want to have A, B, or C. But that's what gets us family, beginners, comma, and accommodation. It's a tiny change, but I think it's much better.